Welcome back to X4, everyone. Like I said in the last part, we're going to have to take care of some garbage before we can actually get on the stage. Nothing I can do about that, aside from playing a 0, in which the entire event is just a cutscene that you can skip. Which I guess is one minor difference between X and Zero's campaign, is that this portion right here would just be a cutscene for 0. You wouldn't have to actually do anything. You could just skip the anime cutscene and be on your way. Fortunately, X has got to take care of some nonsense first.
I've been waiting to fight with you.
This fight sucks because there's no walls at all. So it's very easy to get trapped in his teleportation slashes just because they are so unpredictable. I'm surprised I've dodged this many of them so far. I usually get hit at least a couple times, even on a speedrun. Usually not by that attack, though. That attack's usually pretty easy to dodge once you figure the pattern out. Doing a lot better now. I think I've just finally adjusted to the crap factor of this controller. Like, I know exactly how I need to press the buttons to get them to register, like, 95% of the time. Kinda have to press them really hard. That's part of it. But if I wasn't doing that, I'd probably be getting wrecked right now. I mean, I usually take a few hits on this guy even in a good fight. I mean, there have been good fights against this guy where I nearly die. Because he just gets really lucky with that teleport slash shit. You fight this guy later on, but when you fight him the second time you have walls, so it's really easy to just go very high up on the screen and he just has no chance of hitting you with that. So we're just going to save real quick, even though we didn't get anything, it saves that we completed that fight, so if any shenanigans happen, I have to reload my save, I don't have to do that again. So yeah, that really wasn't worth putting into a video of its own. So now we're going to finish off the top row, so it was the volcano. Okay. Yeah, magma area must be X6 then. I don't remember if the stages in X5 are named. They might be. If they are, I don't remember any of them in X5. I do know that X5 has a lava level. This stage is actually pretty fucking awesome. It's just a lot of good, like, timing, jumping, and platforming, and when it goes really well, it looks fucking amazing. Yeah, when it goes well. How charged is my tank? Okay, it's fully charged. Okay, that's good. That's good to know. I don't think I should need it. I don't think I should need it, though. Not for a very, very long time. There's usually only one boss in this game where I even need to think about using a sub-tank against when I'm playing well. If this was a speedrun, I usually just run through and just take the damage, because who cares? The end of the area is right here, so you get your health back either way. I'm just trying to play it safe now, because I don't want to die, and this isn't a speedrun. I mean, of course, parts of me are still going to do sequences like a speedrun, because it's just how it's ingrained in my muscle memory at this point. I can't change that. Okay. So yeah, if you do a dash jump really well off that ledge, there's a heart over there. I mean, you really gotta fling yourself, though. Otherwise, if you're not really good at that, you can also do this. You just, like, fire a lightning web, and then, you know, it's a lot easier if you do it that way. So it's like, you don't need items to get a lot of this stuff, but they can help out if you're not that great at the game. Okay. So the next secret... Just jump off here. Now, this is kind of the only real secret in the game that really sucks, because there's a wall here, right? And you need to break it. but there's no obvious indication what breaks this, so if you don't have a guide or have somebody tell you what it is, you could just sit here all day long trying weapon after weapon, no idea what it is. So I'm just going to tell you what it is. You need to have Twin Slasher, which you get from Slash Beast, which is why we did that stage before this. But you don't just need Twin Slasher. You also need either of the arm upgrades so you can fire off a charged version of Twin Slasher. So, yeah, that's the only real upgrade in the game that really sucks, because there's no logic involved. It's just try everything on it until you find the thing that lets you through. Like, it's not even a move that's like a drill or a bomb or anything. It's a shockwave. Like, you fire that, like, that's not... What about that makes you think a more powerful version of that is gonna blow through the wall? But I guess it can be forgiven since it hides the body piece upgrade. Now, what this thing does is it reduces all the damage we take by 50%. So, my health bar is effectively doubled now, because I take half damage. And it allows me to perform a special technique called the Nova Strike, where X will leap forward with a super powerful air dash that does a shitload of damage. And yeah, I know those are the same blocks, some of the ones that are blocking the armor, but you cannot get this right armor up there. You have to get up there and use the charged Twin Slasher. But yeah, that's a little secret. The boss door is normally above this room, but if you take the right armor, you can bust through the bottom and use the right armor for the first part of the fight. Or, if you're really good, the entire fight if you don't take a lot of damage. And that's really awesome because the right armor takes damage for you if you don't accidentally jump out of it like I did. Which on a shitty D-pad is really easy to do. So I'm just going to try very hard not to tap up, because you jump out by pressing jump and up. And this thing likes to register up a lot of the times when you're not pressing it. See, I mean, okay, yeah. He is only now... Damn it. That's fine, I can beat him without it. Yeah, if you were really good, and I've done it before, you can entirely defeat him with the right armor if you are really good at dodging his attacks in it. Which, since your hitbox is so massive, that is not the easiest thing to do in the world. And yeah, he says he has Street Fighter moves. Oh, wonderful. Yeah, if you can get him locked into that attack facing the wrong way, it's awesome, because he's just stuck. Magma Dragoon's pretty fun to fight because he's the only boss that doesn't have any sort of set pattern. He can launch into any of his attacks whenever he wants, regardless of the phase of the fight. If he wants to fight one way for one fight, he can. It means that every time you fight him, it feels different, because even though he still only has about the same amount of attacks as any other boss, he can just throw them into the mix, however, and they're all fair attacks to dodge, like, once you get really good at the game. None of it's just bullshit that's gonna blindside you most of the time, so it still manages to be an engaging and challenging fight even after you learn it, without being, like, ridiculously difficult or, you know, easy. Like, you can't just trade shots with him and win. Like, some of the bosses in the game are like this. A lot of the bosses in some of the later games are exactly like that, where you can essentially just stand there and just shoot them, not even worrying about dodging, just worrying about just landing as many hits into them as you can. And more often than not, they'll die before you do. It's just a shitty war of attrition, and it's just not engaging at all to just stand there and just shoot them a few times and then they die. It's pathetic. X4, in my opinion, actually has some really, for the most part, really well thought out bosses. A couple of them aren't terrible, aren't terrible. A couple of them are spectacular, but none of them are really stand out and being, like, purely awful. So, as far as which stage next, really? After Dragoon, I believe, yes, you can. You can play any of the final 3 stages in whatever order. and you can get anything. You can get anything you need to get there because you have everything to get all the items in in those respective stages. So I'll just leave it as a surprise, and we'll see where we end up on the next.